Hey guys, George, the regular dad here, with a video about changing the spark plugs in a 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer. Now, this will transfer over to most front-wheel drive cars, especially 4 cylinders. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. A couple things you're going to need here are a ratchet, spark plug socket with extension, anti-seize lubricant, obviously some new spark plugs. I prefer NGK. And on your 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer, you will also be needing a 10mm socket to get the cover off. Remove the spark plug cover, set it to the side, make sure you don't lose them, they're bolts that hold it on. Next, we're going to be pulling the coil packs off. Those are also going to be a 10mm. Now to get the coil packs out, after you remove the bolts, they just pull straight up and out. Could be a good idea to disconnect the connectors here. And next, we move on to removing the spark plugs. What I have here is a nice socket by Tech Pro. There's also one made by Gear Wrench. It has a little magnet inside, and that'll help pull the spark plugs out. If you don't have this, a regular spark plug socket will work. Has a little piece of rubber inside that'll hold it. And in a pinch, a piece of fuel hose or any kind of hose will work. Jam it down in there after you loosen it up with a regular socket, and it'll fit around the end of the spark plug and you can pull it out that way. Now this car, it's a little deep down in there, so you're gonna need an extra extension or just a longer extension to begin with. And there's the first one. These spark plugs have about 130,000 miles on them. I've never replaced them. Next tool we're going to need is a spark plug gapper. If you have a brand new one, take a look at the back. There's a little sticker there, and that can throw up your gap by a tiny bit. Probably wouldn't make much of a difference, but I always pull it off just to be sure. And the gap for this car is 0.032. Make sure you look up your manufacturer specifications on the gap. There's a common myth that spark plugs all come preset. Always check it. 0.032. Like this one right now is at 0.036, which probably wouldn't make too much of a difference, but it definitely is a little too open. Whenever the gap is set too narrow, a lot of people like to take the gapper and stick it in and pry up. It's not good for the spark plug. You can actually break it. That's what this little hole here is for. You stick it in here and you pry up with that. For anyone curious, I'm coming to you from Florida in July, where it's hot as fuck. Our next step is going to be to put a little bit of anti-seize lubricant on the threads of the plug, so the next time we change them, they come out easy. Now when we put the plug in, we don't want to just drop it in. Use your spark plug socket. If you drop it in, you can hit the tip, close the gap back up. And you definitely want to thread it in by hand. Now if you look on the box, it'll tell you exactly how much to tighten it. Gives you a little picture trying to show you the different types of spark plugs that could be being used. There are some that have kind of a tapered seat, or there are some that use a little gasket like this. We have the gasket kind. Gasket kind, once you make contact, you turn it 1/2 to 2/3 of a turn after that, and that kind of crushes the gasket a little bit and makes that seal. And that's it. Now just do the same on the last 3 spark plugs. I usually just do a line like this. That way as it twists in, it spreads it. And that's it. All spark plugs are installed. Next, we're going to put the coils back in. First, it's always a good idea to put a little bit of dielectric grease inside the boot. Everything has a torque spec, but on these, generally, just need to get it tight. Make sure you don't over tighten it so you don't strip the threads out of the bolt or break the coils. Coils ain't cheap. And finally, we put the cover back on. My goal here is not to make anybody a master mechanic. I am by no means a master mechanic. I went to school to be a mechanic, did it for a few years. Now I just do it on the side. If I can help anybody save some money by not having to take it to a mechanic for simple repairs that you can do yourself, I feel like I've succeeded. Like and subscribe if this helped you. Comment below if there's anything else you'd like to see. Thanks for watching.